This week, we hear the story of Jesus teaching in the synagogue in his hometown of Nazareth. From the words of Isaiah, Jesus declared God's promised justice for people in need, good news for the poor, for prisoners, for the oppressed. And then Jesus told the crowd that on that day, in their hearing, the words of Isaiah were fulfilled. Today, in the heart of Nazareth's old city, the synagogue church commemorates this event. Far underneath this small stone chapel, some say, are the ruins of the first century synagogue where Jesus spoke these words. Now remember that Jesus was speaking to people who knew him and his family. The text says that Jesus went to the synagogue as was his custom. And that likely means that this was a homecoming for him. After his time in the wilderness, here was Joseph and Mary's son come home. But Jesus wasn't quite the same as when he left. And his relationship to home had also changed. Preachers sometimes remember this story not for Jesus' sermon, which seemed to go fine, but for what happened afterwards. The congregation got so angry with Jesus that they took him up to a hill on the outskirts of town and were determined to throw him off a cliff. How did things change so quickly? The controversy seems to have been related to Jesus' reminder that in biblical history, God often crossed human boundaries and borders to extend love and care to foreigners and strangers. From the synagogue to the cliff, from homecoming to rejection, from the manger to the cross. The way of Jesus, which he made clear in his teaching, was countercultural. It went against the same human realities that we still face today. Divisions between us and them, between insiders and outsiders, between the known and unknown. If the words of Jesus were to be fulfilled today in the Holy Land or in your community, what would change? Who would it comfort? And who would it challenge?
قراءة من إنجيل لوقا 4:18. روح الرب علي لأنه مسحني لأبشر المساكين، أرسلني لأشفي المنكسري القلوب، لأنادي للمأسورين بالإطلاق وللعمي بالبصر، وأرسل المنسحقين في الحرية.
روح الرب نزل علي. هاي الكلمة هي كلمة موجودة بحياة كل إنسان مؤمن مسيحي. وإحنا كمسيحيين اليوم بفلسطين صمودنا في كنيستنا لأنه روح الرب معنا. وهذه الروح هي ليست روح صامتة، ليست روح خرساء، هي روح مندفعة، روح تتحدث بالحق وترفض الباطل. المسيح لما بلش قال روح الرب نزل علي. ليش؟ عشان أكون إنسان صادق في حياتي، أبشر المساكين، أساعد المرضى، أحكي عن المساجين، وأوقف بوجه الباطل وأقول الحق. هذه دعوتي لكل واحد فينا اليوم، ما ينسى هذه الروح الموجودة فيه، ما ينسى هذه القوة الموجودة فيه، وما ينسى إنه روح اللي فيه روح الإله الحقيقي التي لا تتحدث إلا الحق وتصمد ضد كل إنسان يتكلم بالباطل، وبتدافع حتى تنال في نهاية المطاف القوة الإلهية وتنال في النهاية إكليل المجد. آمين.